folks, Darren Chang here to do a first look, and this is a first look at the Peak Design. This is their 10-liter Sling version 2, so it's the everyday Sling. And so let's take a look and see what this has to offer. You should know that I actually did purchase some time ago the version 1 of this Sling, and it didn't work out so well for me. It actually, it was, the way it was shaped, it just didn't fit the gear, my camera gear, and all the stuff that I needed to have in there very well. So that was a return. So when this came out, I had great hopes that this actually might do a better job working for me as a camera bag. So let's take a look around and see what it has to offer. So you can see here it's made out of very similar material to the version 1 of this bag. It's clearly a nylon, maybe a polyester blend of some sort, and it feels coated, so it's going to be somewhat water resistant. I wouldn't count on it being one of those things that you can sit out in the rain for a while in, however. The zipper itself is one of these WaterGuard YK. Actually, I'm not sure if it is a YKK because, yep, it is a YK. No, it's the Peak Design. They actually have, there's a company that they work with to design sort of a competitor to YKK. And actually, since I do have their travel pack with these zippers on it, and that travel pack has gone to Italy with me, it's gone all over the country. I mean, that thing has, the zippers have withstood a lot. So I do trust the zippers, despite the fact they're not YKK zippers. And you can see right over there, it's sort of off screen a little bit here. This is the Peak Design travel bag. It's a great bag. So take a look right there for a review, full review of that bag. Okay, so you can see here on the front, there is a slash pocket here, and it's not divided in any sort of way. It does go all the way up into this upper reaches here of the bag, and then all the way down to the very, well, not quite to the bottom, maybe about a ½ inch from the bottom here. It's a little stiff to get into, but it certainly has a good amount of volume. It has its own volume that sits out away from the main compartment of the bag, which is always useful because you don't have to compete with the main compartment of the bag when you put stuff that's three-dimensional into this part of the Sling itself. The zipper works nicely. I don't love the fact that it's blocked a little bit, but clearly this is a rain flap of sorts. And truly, it doesn't actually affect the movement of the zipper, so it's really only difficult to get into the bag or into this slot when you have to deal with the rain flap. But I'm not here to review. I'm here just to give a first look, so I'm going to stop doing that right now. There are some places here, little loops, and these loops are going to be very useful. You'll see in a moment that Peak Design does give you some lash straps. They're pretty simple things, but notice here there is a hook there, and that these are adjustable in size. And these hooks will connect to any of these little loops that you have here. So if I let this stretch all the way out, you can see that this reaches across the bag and will connect to this piece of webbing over here. So not a lot of room here, but you can imagine if I had the other one going across in this direction, I could easily, I don't know, hold like a raincoat or something across that area. And then if instead you decide you're going to use this to hold a tripod on the bottom, there are one of two ways you could do it. You could do the across the bottom of the bag piece, or because they can be adjusted in size, you could put these on either side, shorten this up quite a bit, and have the tripod go across this way and hold it in that direction. So these are pretty useful things, and I mean, they're not engineering marvels or anything in that way, but the fact is Peak Design does include these in the bag, and I think they can be incredibly useful little devices. Continuing around to the back of the bag, you can see here that nothing special going on here, not terrifically breathable, no mesh back here, but it's a Sling. It's not going to get all that sweaty because it can move around pretty freely. There is a handle here. It's nice and cushioned, attached to the back of the bag, and it has the same sort of strap that it has almost in all of its bags. They completely articulate, sort of maybe not quite 180 degrees, but a good amount. So it adjusts well to your body by having this ability to articulate. And any of the excess amount of the strap will actually tuck away quite nicely into this area behind here. So it keeps it looking nice and neat. The strap itself, it's not incredibly wide, but it's nicely padded. And it is adjustable with this. There's a little quick flip here which allows it to slide pretty easily and then lock back down. So you can actually, one of the great things about this is if you take it off and take it on, right now it probably is a little bit looser than I'd want it, so I would tighten this up like so. And you can see now how it sits on my back at a diagonal, right? But the way that this is, it's pretty tight, so it would be hard for me to pull this up over my head or even to swing it around to get access to my stuff. So if you loosen it up a bit like that, swing it around, get access to the camera, right? And much easier to take off in this way as well. So I really do think that this is a nice design here. Okay, so some other things on the outside. You can see here we have these heavy-duty loops here, and it allows for you to attach those Peak Design clips that allow you to clip your camera to there or any other thing you want to clip to this. It's a little fat to be able to put a carabiner through here, and it's on both sides. Okay, so the outside, pretty simple. Very importantly, flat bottom. The flat bottom allows this thing to sit up on its own, which I think is tremendously helpful. Okay, so let's go past this water guard zipper and get into this. By the way, I want you to notice how smart Peak Design is about this. If you're wearing this on your body like so, the flap opens away from you, which means that you don't have to deal with the flap holding it up against your chest here. It allows you to much more easily get access to your gear. So it's a good idea for them, and I'm glad they continued this. They did this on the version 1. I'm glad that they continued it with the version 2. They'd be stupid not to. And you can see here in the interior of the bag, we have 4 different pockets here. These could be for SD cards or batteries. They are color-coded, so they have 2 gray ones, 2 black ones, so perhaps you put ones that are discharged, batteries that are discharged, or SD cards that are used in the gray side, and SD cards or batteries that are not discharged or haven't been used in the black side. Not a huge amount of volume. I mean, there is its own volume here, but yeah, I guess I could actually fit. Let me just reach in here. I could easily put my well, not so easily put my cell phone. This is an XR, so it's a little bit wide. My wallet, nah, wallet's not going to fit in there. All right, so it have to be, you know, cables, flat things that certainly can fit these lash straps. And then in the interior, you can see that they have their special divider systems here. I love these dividers. They're really great. They work incredibly well, not overly padded too, which I think is really helpful. And you can see here that there's quite a bit of room in here. I have a gripped camera here. This is a G85, so it's a smaller mirrorless camera. It's a G85 with a grip, but I'm shooting right now with a G9, a Panasonic Lumix G9, which is a little bit bigger than the G85. Even with that one, with its grip on, it'll fit no problem right there, snuggle into there. I think you could see that here's a pretty good sized lens. This is a Lumix 100 to 300. It's probably about 7 to 8 inches long, and it fits in there without any issue. And there isn't a lens that I own that would not be able to fit into this bag. Or I should say, there isn't a Lumix lens that I own that wouldn't be able to fit into this bag. So then on the back wall, there's a slot here for an iPad or for a 13-inch MacBook Pro. It's held with a magnet. It's not a particularly strong magnet. And so here's my 13-inch MacBook Pro, and it slides in there. A little tight. You have to push it down quite a bit there to get it in. But it fits in there without too much trouble. It gets it a little bit tight now to put in my gripped camera when you have the laptop in there, so that's not ideal. I can do it, but it would certainly be easier if this was ungripped. In fact, if I just put it in ungripped form, you can see that it fits in without any problem with the laptop in there. So, is there anything else that I want to make sure you guys know about it? It's a pretty simple bag. It's pretty well built, but again, I'm going to talk about those things in the full review. As it is, this is just the first look. Oh, I guess I should also mention that this handle doubles as a luggage pass-through as well if you have rolling luggage. All right, so be on the lookout in the next week or so. I'm going to do a full review of this bag and let you know whether or not this is something that is a use it or is it a lose it. Take a look at my other videos if you're interested. I should point that way. Take a look at my other videos here on camera bags, and certainly please subscribe. I'm very close to the 2,000 mark, so maybe you can help me go over that mark. Okay, thanks folks. Bye.